Episode 54 is underway. My name's Trent, and I'm joined by Jason.
Hello. What's going on?
Same old thing, another podcast.
That's right. We're back again.
Yeah, and this week we've got just a few different random topics we're going to throw at.
Yes, why not?
Couple songs as well.
Okay.
And just have at it. I mean, was there anything
Why
before
not?
we get into this first thing you want to...
There is something I just remembered.
Yeah.
I got a Crowbar shirt
Oh, did
the
you?
other day. Yeah. If you go to martyrstore.net and you're fat fuck like me, they have like XXX, quadruple X, all that stuff. They even have 5X. Don't worry, I didn't need to go that big. But and they had Crowbar, they had Hatebreed. So I decided to splurge and I got one. So thanks to Jamie Josta for thinking about fat dudes.
I actually, I don't know if I told you that a couple months ago, I got a Crowbar and a Kingdom of Sorrow and a Thy Will Be Done shirt
Yeah?
in a bundle from Martyr Store.
Really?
Because they were all like clearanced out screw-up shirts.
Screw-ups?
Yeah,
like what they have on them.
Like one was like off-center a little bit, like the Kingdom of Sorrow, and then like the Thy Will Be Done had some mark on the side.
Really?
And then I can't remember what was up with the Crowbar, but it wasn't anything crazy, and it was like $12 for all three of them.
You didn't tell me this. You gotta tell me this stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See?
Shout out to Martyr Store.
That's right. They got some good shit, and they send you a compilation. They send you stickers, maybe. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I hear him say sometimes if it's Hatebreed stuff, he'll toss in an autographed Josta picture or something.
Yeah.
On random orders.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it's cool stuff.
That's something we can talk about. Did you see the new lyric video for AD they put out, Hatebreed?
No.
You didn't. It's pretty good.
I listened to the song. Like I saw a stream
Well, did you
for
hear
it
the
somewhere.
song? Okay,
Yeah.
that's all that matters, really. What'd you think?
Well, it's Hatebreed. It's great.
Well, I think this was an immense departure. Something like they've never done before. Just kidding. It's Hatebreed through
Where
and
are we going
through.
with this?
It just pounds you over the head. You fucking love it. You know it. Why fix it if it's not broke? Hatebreed, AD, it's badass. I can't wait to hear the whole album.
Yeah. May 13th.
That's
is
right.
the day that drops, as well as Devildriver drops the same day.
That's right.
And they've got a video out for Daybreak. Well, I don't know if it's an actual video. It's just like some promo video.
Yeah, it kind of shows all the different bundles you can get. But, I mean, you get
can
to
hear
hear
the
the
song.
song. Yeah.
Which is great as well.
And you've that's another one more thing. See, we're like, what the hell are we going to talk about? Hit record. We got shit we can talk about.
Right.
Is, Dez was on, the Josta show, and, I know they're coming to Rocklahoma, so I want to get, more into them. You've always been into them. You've always championed them. And I never not liked them. It's just there's so much stuff out there. I just never got around to really getting into them really deep.
Right.
Well, I did. I made a whole playlist, all their shit. I mean, it's really good stuff. And I just hit random. So I might have got an older song or a newer song. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool stuff. And I see why that you've been, so nuts about them over the years,
Was there anything that jumped out? Or does it all just kind of hit you at once so you can't remember?
Yeah, it all hits you at once. And, I'm walking around at work with headphones in, so I can't really, remember song titles all the way.
Right.
But that new song, Daybreak, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. Probably not as much as Hatebreed, just because I've always been a little bit bigger fan, but pretty much close to as much.
Exactly. And you can get that new album on, gold vinyl or something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nice. I got something random that's on the opposite spectrum of this.
Okay.
I just wanted to toss in because I read it today and thought it was cool. Phil Collins. Okay.
Oh, I saw this link.
Did you see this? That he's putting out all his, all his early albums reissued.
Yeah. And
he took new pictures and replaced the album covers with him doing the exact pose now as opposed to then. And I'm just like, how was this not thought of by someone before now?
Yeah, I know.
That's just genius.
Because he's Phil Collins.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Nice. Well, good Phil Collins. Good for keeping it creative.
Yeah. Mad props for that creativity.
That's right. It's the creativity. The creativity is in the air tonight. It just is.
Yeah. Well, one of the big things we wanted to talk about was Book of Shadows 2 came out this past Friday.
Yes, Zakk Wylde finally did it. He hauled off and released Book of Shadows 2 on us.
Yes, first official solo album since Book of Shadows 1 in 96, which, in my opinion, most Black Label Society albums are solo albums by him anyway, probably.
Yeah.
You know, kind of in a roundabout way.
Which is, that's why this whole time I thought it was kind of weird that he was doing Book of Shadows 2. Just do another Black Label Society album and make it an acoustic one, like, you know, like Hangover Music kind of was. I don't know.
Well, maybe he wanted to separate, because, you know, they're still a little bit different sound. They're
Well, yeah,
different sounding, because Hangover Music still had the, you know, it was kind of like Unblackened was.
Yeah.
Where it was more plugged in, even though it had acoustic stuff to it.
Yeah.
But Book of Shadows, outside of a few songs, was just stripped down pretty much, you know.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, I asked myself that question, but when I heard the record, you know, it answered it pretty quick, because it really is, I mean, it's really less like, it does not have a Black Label vibe at all.
Right.
It does have a solo vibe. It does have a, you know, you do kind of feel like you're listening to a companion of, you know, Book of Shadows. Like the first two songs, Autumn Changes and Tears of December, you know, there's no distortion, there's no wild ripping solo on any of those. It's just real tasteful, you know, mellow, bluesy, you know, and Zakk hasn't really done that in a while. He's been letting it rip for quite a while, so it's good to see him use some other voicings for a while.
Yeah. Well, speaking of voicings, that's the first thing that jumped out. I think I told you
Yeah,
that.
true.
Was that his vocal style is reminiscent of what it was on Book of Shadows.
Yeah.
Because once he got into Black Label, he started singing not as, I don't know what the word is, not as clean.
Yeah, he's, you know, gruff.
Yeah. Even on the slow stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, because on Hangover, he still had slow acoustic stuff, but he was using that rough voice.
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes it was a little different, you know?
Well, I need to preface all this by saying that Book of Shadows is not just one of my favorite albums. It's probably my favorite album of all time after Appetite for Destruction.
There you go.
So, expectations were like, I tried to keep them low.
Yeah, definitely.
Because to me, that's just a masterpiece of an album. And, you know, Zakk Wylde's never put out anything I didn't like. But I expect there's no way this is going to live up to this.
Yeah, exactly.
And after listening to it, it's not on that level to me, but it's as close as it could get. You know, just there's like the first song that jumped out at me instantly was Lost Prayer.
That was a good one.
Like that's the first song on the in the track listing that jumped out at me that I thought this could have been on Book of Shadows. It's that good. But I'm not saying the first three aren't good. They're great songs.
Yeah.
But like the songs Lost Prayer, Eyes of Burden, where are we at? Sorrowed Regret and Useless Apologies all have this real Book of Shadows feel to me.
Definitely.
You know, all the rest of them have that same style, that acoustic bass and then the plugged in solo, you know, and some piano here and there. But those tracks just jumped out as saying these could have been leftovers from Book of Shadows 1, you know.
Yeah. Eyes of Burden, I think, really jumped out at me. That was one of my favorites.
I think that is my favorite overall.
Yeah, and you know, I really liked Tears of December.
Yeah.
I think I just like that, you know, he's getting back to that and he's going to concentrate on that for a while because, like we've said, I mean, you know, Zakk is a guy that can do a trillion different things. I mean, just look at what he did with, you know, going from, you know, Experience Hendrix to, you know, what's that one called? Generation X.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's going to, you know, go right into, you know, Book of Shadows. So the guy can do so much. So,
and he did Black Label run right before Hendrix.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's good to see that he can get back to, he can make the switch and he's still got it when it comes to that slower stuff.
See, that's always been my thing is that, you know, like I said, I love everything he's done. I love Black Label. I love the heavy stuff. But even with Black Label, his slow stuff is where he shines.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's great, Black Label heavy metal that I love as much as the next guy, but when you take songs like
Last Goodbye. Holy shit. Crazy.
Last Goodbye, or, some of that stuff on Hangover, House of Doom, wasn't really slow, but, more stripped down.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Stepping Stone, Spoken to Will, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that one will... That's a tearjerker. That one will almost make you want to cry.
Yeah, but all that stuff, and then even with Pride and Glory, with like Machine Gun Man and Loving Woman,
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, like that's just where he's a master of that style of music.
Yeah,
and that's why I was so happy whenever I heard he was doing this album.
Yeah,
when they announced it last year, because I never really thought, like you said, this would happen.
Yeah.
I just figured we might get another Hangover music style album eventually.
Exactly.
But I'm glad it happened, and it's lived up to at least what I hoped it would be, which is a great album.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it'll be in my top 10 or...
Yeah, I would think.
Top definitely. 16 of 16 or however the hell it is you want to do it next year, or this year later on.
I think my only thing against it, I would say, is that there's piano in this, but not much.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any song where piano's dominant, like there is a few on Book of Shadows, and then throughout.
Yeah. The last song, The King, that kind of has a lot of piano.
Yeah. And that's a great song.
Yeah, true.
That's probably the slowest song on the album, and it's a great song.
Yeah.
And the only other thing is, like, it's not really as diverse as Book of Shadows was either.
Yeah.
When you think about it, because you had stuff like I Hope You Found What You're Looking For, and Million Miles Away.
Yeah.
And
well, and it's funny you
Road
say
Back
that.
Home that just had a totally different feel than all the other songs.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was kind of, it's a pretty somber record.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a song to kind of pick up and have maybe a little bit of, maybe a little bit of a groove, but it never really. Yeah. It stayed pretty dark, and that's fine. It's a great record, but I see what you mean there.
That's funny you said that about somber, because I got this Friday when it came out, and pretty much didn't take it out until yesterday to listen to Anthrax again. But I was listening to it all weekend, and we were driving on Sunday, and Tracy heard it when we were driving.
Yeah.
And after like 5 or 6 songs, she's like, "Why is every song on this album so damn sad?"
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Book of Shadows too.
That's right.
I mean, Book of Shadows, the first one had a couple songs that were uplifting. For the most part, it's just a sad, somber type deal.
It definitely is. It definitely is. maybe don't listen to this record like late at night when you've been drinking a lot or something.
Right.
And you're by yourself.
Or if you're already in a sad state.
That's right. That's right.
Do you think you mentioned have you read he's going to go into this like in a live setting, or do you know?
I don't know. I mean, I know that he did put there's a European tour. Remember the thing? And he had just like one solo guy opening for him, and it had the whole, the poster had the whole Book of Shadows theme to it. So he's doing something. I don't know if he's got to have a band behind him, or if he's just like doing him and Dario just unplugged, I don't know what he's doing. Well,
what, I think it's Heavy Montreal, or one of those festivals that are in May.
Yeah.
He's playing it 2 days in a row. Black Label Society and Zakk Wylde.
Really?
Is what it's listed as.
Yeah.
So one of the days I assume is this.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yes, that's my wonder, if he's going to do it like he did the first tour, was just him and Nick with the 2 acoustic guitars and a piano.
Yeah.
If he's going to do the same style of thing again, because that would be amazing. That'd be even better than Unblackened.
Unblackened tour, yeah, I know. That would be quite the spectacle.
Yeah, that would be definitely a road trip worthy.
Oh yeah, which by the way, that's one of my top 5 shows of my whole life. Was him at Kane's with just him and Nick back in '96.
Yeah, same here.
They had the candles and just the piano. That was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in a live setting.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
in that afternoon, seeing him at that record store, just, you know, at the little meet and greet, he did like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting like how we were sitting far apart from each other, playing that acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
That was amazing, you know.
Yeah, and you should have went when me and Thrasher went to Oklahoma City the next day.
I know.
Saw him 3 times in a row there.
I'm not as fortunate as you guys. So, fuck both y'all.
Right. Yeah, because then after that show, we met him after the show. And
Yeah. Fuck off. Keep going.
Yeah.
What, we got a song to play next or what? Come on.
Well, nothing else. What did you think of the Sleeping Dogs with Corey Taylor?
It was okay. There's some
Did
parts
it really
where
add anything to it?
No, there's some parts where, I mean, it didn't suck, but I thought that doesn't even sound like him.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big, you know, I maybe listen to one Slipknot song every 2 years. I don't know. And I don't really listen to Stone Sour at all, so I can't say. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. I just don't know that it didn't really change the dynamic or anything, so I don't know what the...
Well, that's why it was a bonus track.
That's true.
You know?
But, yeah, this whole thing, The Levy, is a great song. You know, pick this thing up if you like Zakk Wylde in any capacity.
Definitely. We're dorks. We said last goodbye at the same time.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's a Step Brothers moment. Did we just become best friends?
That lets you know that it's an amazing song.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's not on this record, though, so I don't know why we're talking about it. But, hey, anyways.
I was talking about how throughout his career...
That's right. He's always had... Okay.
Yeah, that's where he excels. Well, we're going to move on now to a song.
Yes, this is a good one, too.
Yeah, this band is out of Georgia, and they're called Undead Viking Mafia.
Which fucking rules.
Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, when you're sitting around trying to think of band names, that's not something that would have popped in my head, but I wished it had.
Yeah.
So I could say that I thought of that.
Yeah, exactly. Because you would be cool forever.
Yeah. Well, let's just play this before we talk about it. Undead Viking Mafia. The song's called Stone of Morax.
First is a glass that I drink from, 'cause when the trains that never come, despite the best of my intent, oh, I'm getting down, I'm getting low.
That was Stones of Morax from Undead Viking Mafia off their new album, No Trials for Traitors. This album just came out yesterday.
That's right.
So get yourself out there and check this thing out if you liked what you just heard, which if you're a person listening to this podcast and you like hard and heavy music and you don't like that, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get your grubby little paws on this record, for sure. And this song was badass. It's got this, like, you know, kind of groovy, stonery thing, you know. I really like the guitar tone. It's not like, you know, it's you know, their mid's not turned all the way up, and it's not, like, overpowering. It's just nasty and raw, and then they've got, like, sometimes they do, like, these deathy kind of vocals over it, which, I don't know, it's just, they really kind of nailed something cool on this song.
Yeah, it's like if you took some Corrosion Conformity, some Malines and the Sons of Disaster, some random stoner rock,
Yeah.
and then went out into the woods and lit a fucking bonfire and tapped a keg of Shiner and fucking raged till 8 in the morning, that would be this song.
And that would be a good fucking time.
Yeah. That's what I feel whenever I listen to this for 4 minutes or however long it was.
Well, and again, you know, they have like one of the most badass band names ever.
Yeah. And I like that, how you said, like, that deathy kind of stuff, like they're in the middle, like it just all of a sudden drops down for like 30 seconds or something where it sounds like a death metal song.
Yeah.
Almost. It's still kind of a little groovy under there in the guitar, but the vocals, you know, and then it kicks back up and the whole thing's just got that somewhere between a stoner and a doom and a groove metal band, you know. That.
Yeah, dude, it's just badass stuff, man.
Yeah, and this whole album, you know, I listened to it today and it's great stuff. And hopefully we'll have a review up for it here in the next week or something.
Yeah, sure. You know it.
Undead Viking Mafia. Look them up on Facebook. Atlanta, Georgia.
That's right.
Well, speaking of podcasts, since that's what we're here doing,
Gotcha.
we just wanted to throw a shout out to Devil You Adore, band out of Stigler, Oklahoma.
That's right.
That we actually played them here it's probably been a couple months ago now. And we've got to know Travis Davis, the drummer.
That's right.
And, you know, he came over to my place after Iron Maiden for the after party.
So we raged.
Yeah.
Raged.
Well, they just recently had an episode of the Nothing Shocking podcast that they were guests on, the whole band. And that just came out here a few days ago. So go look that up. Give that a listen. Support other podcasts if they're good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Support these guys, and they're, you know, it's a great band, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they gave us a shout out, so
oh yeah,
you know, that's an amazing thing, and we appreciate it.
Definitely. And we've talked to him, hope to have him on the podcast. Might get him when we're at Rocklahoma, because all of them are going to be out there.
Yes.
They're actually playing.
They're playing like 3 times, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing 3 stages. I saw today it was they're playing the Camp Jaeger retrospect, you know, Thursday kickoff party.
Yeah.
At like 4.
4. We'll be there. I think
he said it's the first, there might be the first band going on.
That's awesome.
And then they're playing the new GA rock stage, which is in the GA campgrounds on Saturday morning. And then Saturday night, late after, those times aren't set because it's just after the headliners go on.
Exactly.
They're playing late Saturday night back at Camp Jaeger. So this is, if you're going to Rocklahoma, you've got 3 chances to check these guys out.
That's right. So you better do it.
Yep. And look them up on Facebook as well. Devil You Adore. Well, what's next? Is it Blackstone Cherry time?
Blackstone Cherry's up, and we need to get into this, and we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, let me just
start going.
Let me just start. Okay.
You gonna be an old time rambler? You like that segue there?
Yeah, well, you know, it was just the Rambler, but old time.
I thought he said old time in the song.
I don't know. You're throwing me off here.
Sorry.
Look, here's the thing. Blackstone Cherry's been around for a while now. I'd say, what?
10 years, I think.
10, 12 years?
I think the first album was 06.
And you know, and they're just pure, genuine, loud, straight up, just rock and roll. I mean, they've got a pretty heavy edge to them. You know, Chris Robertson's voice is like, it's unique, it's badass. These guys can write songs, they can rock, and for some reason they just don't get. I mean, we said it, we said it a few weeks ago when we talked about their live album. They just don't get quite over the hump in America. I think they're a little bit bigger overseas, but
which is just to cut in, which is kind of funny because
shit.
most bands in that ilk, that the radio rock, the mid-range kind of hard rock bands don't get big overseas, but they do in America.
Yeah,
and they kind of, which is a testament to them because overseas people seem to have better taste in music than America.
Well, definitely.
There you go.
The thing is I think what helped them overseas is, they have a good, classic rock and arena rock is really big there.
Right.
And they're steeped in the roots of rock and roll, the roots of hard rock. And I think the British appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think having a label like Roadrunner starting out, I don't think they're on Roadrunner anymore, but I think that really helped them. Because Roadrunner's global. They put all their bands all over the world. So I think that helped them. But it's just, it's like to see them, on a, opening for Nickelback and, and Seether and stuff. It's like, what the fuck? Sorry, but I mean, these guys are just, they're way better than just some radio rock band. And that's good that that's their sound and that they can get played on the radio, but they're so much more than that. And they deserve so much more than, going on at 2:30 at Rock on the Range.
Yeah. I
mean, I just don't get it. I don't know. And then this new album comes out and it's really fucking good. I think it's the best thing they've done since their debut, or Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. And it's just, I just really hope these guys, I'm glad that they're on tour with Volbeat. I think that's a great match for them. I hope they keep, going this direction. And I hope that, crowds kind of smarten up and see this band for what they are, really.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a story.
Okay.
Because I thought of this whenever I knew we were going to talk about them. I just thought this was kind of funny. Going back to 2006, or that's when it is, I think. Back before Facebook and the MySpace days, you remember how, in Facebook, bands can't message human beings, if you have a personal page. But in MySpace, a band can message anybody they wanted.
That's right.
So, you'd get crap in your inbox all the time from just I used to get all the time because I guess I'd like a lot of bands. So then other bands would say, hey, if you're a fan of, Megadeth, or you're a fan of, Mr. Big, they just see this shit that I liked, you might like us because we sound like this, and I just get these all the time. And most times I just say, fuck it and skim past it. But I got one from Blackstone Cherry. This was before they, were really getting any radio play or anything. I think the first time I had him come out. Mm-hmm. But I just remember it because it stuck out to me because the name was a little different. And I thought their logo was cool.
Yeah.
That little thing with the cigar,
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's kind of interesting, but I still didn't ever click on it. And, I think I followed them on MySpace, but then so I kept seeing some updates but still didn't listen to it. And then I'm in Texas at my grandma's house, being my dad and sister and families out there. And it's after my uncle had passed away, and we were out tearing down, trees and all this crap around some of their property out on a farm.
Yeah.
And just clearing it out, to help out my grandma. And so I'm in his full-on John Deere tractor, massive fucking tractor, pulling, trees behind it with the chain. And I've got, my uncle, used a tractor on the farm all the time, so he had the good one that was enclosed, had an air conditioner and a radio.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, the tractor with the radio on some channel from Woodward, Oklahoma that was playing rock music. And I'm like, this is a brand new song from a band called Blackstone Cherry called Lonely Train. And I'm like, I know that band from MySpace. So it started playing, and I just stopped the tractor and sat there and listened to it. and the rest is history.
That's right. And look what happened.
I'm like, this song is badass. I bought the album like based off of hearing that song off a shitty radio and a tractor. and
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
but that first album is... still to me, it's just kind of... I'm that way with a lot of bands, but that first album, I don't think they'll ever top in my eyes.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, because this new album, like I said, Devil and Deep Blue Sea are great albums.
Yeah, they are. They are. I think that there's... The new album, by the way, is called Kentucky. I think it's a progression. I think they've matured. I did a review. I don't know if it's up yet, but it will be up very shortly if it's not.
By the time you hear this, it'll be up.
Hell yeah. I said in the review, there's no white trash millionaire. There's no blame it on the boom boom. And like I said, I'm not knocking that stuff. We need that stuff. We need to have a good time. We need to let loose and, just kind of, not think about shit and just have fun. But at the same time, these guys matured and they did some really great riffs, some really important songwriting. It's just, it's what you'd hope a band like this would do. They know that, I think, they're on a new label. I mean, I don't know from anything, but I'm just saying what I think as a fan. I would hope that they know that they need to make it to that next level. They need to stop fucking around, which they're not really fucking around, but I mean, you just have to have that mentality of we're going to go for the throat here. And I think that they did. And they stepped up everything. They stepped up their performance, their songwriting, and, they grew up a little bit. And I mean, it just makes for a great record.
Yeah. And there's different stuff here too. Like I know you pointed out in review, Rescue Me.
Yeah.
Where it starts with that really clean, happy Beach Boys-esque thing.
Yeah, and then it just
it goes into probably the heaviest thing they've done.
Yeah, it just close squashes your balls into oblivion.
Yeah, close to one of the heavier, faster songs they've ever written,
Yeah, I mean, that's such a...
And it's probably the best song on the album.
Yeah, that's such a great fucking idea, and it's a good risk to take. And, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. You don't see fucking Pop Evil doing that shit. I mean, sorry, I don't give a fuck. It's just, that's why I just don't understand why, they get, I don't know. It just, this band needs to be like, headlining Brady Theater or something. Yeah. Not, I don't know. Anyways. But I mean, they got that cover of War, which is just badass and it's great for his voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I don't know. It's just badass. Fucking Soul Machine.
Oh yeah, that's a great
you're
song.
Gonna be fucking singing SOUL all fucking day long after you hear that thing.
Yeah.
That
thing is just, that reeks of what they are at the core, I think.
Yes, yeah. And the Rambler, the last song, which is, their ballad.
Yeah.
It's just real simple and it's, really touching and moving. I mean,
it's a great song.
Yeah, this band, I mean, people go fucking listen to this band. They're more than you think. You're going to find a lot more going on with this band and you're going to be like, holy fuck, how have I not listened to this band sooner? I'm trying to get their attention. So, well, I will champion this band forever.
Well, you mentioned the Rambler and I was thinking, going back to the first album, like Hell and High Water.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of success as a single. And then In My Blood from Devil and Deep Blue Sea, had a lot of success radio-wise, I know. And those are great songs. And that's the thing, it's like when a band has success with a good ballad, then they tend to write more of them. And some of them just come off like they're trying to write too many ballads.
Yeah.
Shine Down, for example. But, Blackstone Cherry is just great at writing ballads. Like Rambler and what's the other one? Long Ride.
Yeah.
They're just great songs. And they're not writing these things just to try to get a radio hit, I don't think. Maybe Blame It on the Boom Boom was that way. But I don't think, Long Ride or Rambler written that. You can tell that these are, like you said, emotional based songs,
I would like to think, I would hope that that's kind of the South in them,
Yeah.
The rural in them, I think. And I say that just because, we're kind of in the same, the same situation,
Yeah.
Well,
what's your, just going off of this album, what's your favorite song of theirs of all time?
Of all time?
Well, of all 5 of their albums.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like The Way of the Future. I think that's a great song. I really love this cover of War. I think Rolling On.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking amazing. Things My Father Said.
Oh, yeah.
Which, in my situation just, tears me up every time. Turns me into a ball of tears. And, when you can do that, with your music, you've made it really. I mean, I don't know where, God.
Maybe Someday to me.
God, that's a great song.
Maybe Someday and Rolling On are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah.
And then Soul Creek from the second album.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
And then Killing Road, or Killing Floor, sorry.
That song is massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, that's just... I was talking about Rescue Me, but that, even though Rescue Me's faster, that might be their heaviest song,
Yeah.
Killing Road. And it's just so well written, and even though it's heavy as hell, you can sing along to it, get stuck in your head.
Yeah. I liked Such a Shame.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Between the Devil and Deep Blue Sea was such a great album.
Yeah.
You could really
That
say
last song,
any,
Stay, is another example of a
Yeah.
great ballad.
you could say any song on that album,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just, again, this band they've got it all. And if you haven't really got into them, go get into them.
And speaking of Rolling On, we saw him open for Black Label Society at the Cain's Ballroom
That's right.
in 2006.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was the end of 2006.
Yeah.
And after the show, or after they played, they were over at the merch table. And I went over there and had him sign my ticket stub. And John Fred started talking to me.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what. And I told him I got the album. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Typical fanboy stuff, whatever. And he's like, so what's your favorite song on the album? And I said, Rolling On. And he said, man, I'm starting to get all kinds of people telling me that. Maybe we should start playing it live. I'm like, you absolutely should. And I've seen him, a couple more times since then, and they haven't played it.
I know.
And so I'm calling out John Fred. That was 10 years ago. Maybe you should start playing Rolling On.
Hey, they can play whatever they want.
That's true.
But
when you come in the Midwest, play Rolling On just in case we're there.
Yeah, just for these 2 dorks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Kentucky's a great album. These guys don't do any wrong.
No, yeah, they can't.
And like you mentioned, there's also a review up on the page of the live album, which came out last fall, I think it was.
Yeah.
So these guys are pumping out music, in your standard every 2-year fashion. So just,
That's right.
They're out there. And like you said, if you're not into them, you've got a catalog of stuff you can get into.
That's right. Me and Mary Jane, did you like that song?
Yeah.
That was a good song.
Yeah. I like the last album too. We didn't even mention that. We kind of skipped over it.
There's a kick-ass version on YouTube, an acoustic version of Me and Mary Jane.
Oh, really?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know that the first album, there was, I think, maybe a reissue or something.
Yeah.
There's something that came out later where there was acoustic versions of maybe Someday, Lonely Train, Hell and High Water.
Yeah.
And maybe something else. But you can find acoustic versions of all those, and they're great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, you got any other Black Stone Cherry stuff to gush about?
Oh, I think we did it up right there.
Well, let's play some more music.
Why not?
This one's short and sweet, and a kick in your face.
Which is what we love.
This is called Daikaiju, is the name of the band.
That's right.
And the song is called Spiral Serpent Strike. Eternal Serpent Strike from Daikaiju. These guys are out of Alabama, even though they sound like they're from the shores of Okinawa, right? I don't know. That's from the album The Monster of Surf. It's a compilation of like 22 different, surf rock, surf music bands, and this isn't your typical Dick Dale thing. This is a little more amped up, for the rock metal crowd, but it still fits perfectly into that mold.
Oh yeah, it definitely brought back memories of the Dick Dale concert I went to about 15 years ago or so.
Oh yeah, I forgot you went to that.
Yeah, at the other side, where he walked out. He started the show by just walking out through the crowd and then up to the stage. Anyways, back to Daikaiju. Surf rock. We're glad that we could get a different kind of rock going on this episode.
Yeah.
And introduce it to you guys. This is a great song. It's frenetic. It's amped up, and talent for days. You've seen these guys live, right?
Yeah. And
talk about that, because just seeing the picture was insane. So you got to talk about that.
Yeah, it's one of the more memorable things I've seen live. I didn't even plan to go see them because I didn't even know who they were. This was probably the year before last, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2014, and we actually went to a club downtown to see another band that a friend of ours told us to come see. So we're down there hanging out. There's 5 or 6 of us, and our friend Eric Reese says, "Hey, there's this." He's like, "I just walked down to the Sound Pony, which was like 2 or 3 clubs down from where we're at." He's like, "And there's this crazy awesome band in there. You got to come check them out. I think you like them." And I'm like, "All right." Because we were just sitting there, I think, drinking beers, waiting for this other, whoever it was. I don't even remember who it was.
Yeah.
That's how non-memorable that was. Well, anyway, I walked down there with him, and it was, unbelievable. First off, the Sound Pony is extremely small place for a band to play, if there's any kind of crowd in there. And, literally, you've got to walk around sometimes. Depends on the way that stuff's set up, even though there's a little area. But if there's 5 members or something, you're going to have to kind of walk around a member to get by. But anyway, it's all, instrumental from what I remember, just like this song. And a couple of them had on masks, paint and whatever. And they start, partway through, they just start handing the guitar. I think the guitarist handing the guitar to someone, they doesn't even know how to play guitar. And they're just like, what the hell, and then they start strumming it. And then he grabs it back and he'll run around and hand it to people. And they just kept, just getting a little bit more and more as it went on. And then at the end of the show, they grab the bass drum and lift it up and walk out and hand it to a dude in the crowd. And this dude's kind of like, what the hell, holding the bass drum up? And then they start grabbing the rest of the drum set and walk around and hand it to everybody around him. And they assemble the drum kit in the crowd with people holding it up.
Oh, my God.
And then the drummer walks out there, climbs up on someone's shoulders. I was thinking, I can't remember if they put the stool up there, but that'd be kind of a balancing act. I think he was on someone's shoulders. And he just starts playing the drums on top of the crowd. And... and then they're playing the guitars, and then they hand the guitar to Eric, who knows how to play guitar, so he just starts playing it. Even though it has probably not even anything to do with what they're playing, but then he's holding it up, and everybody's holding the guitars and bass up, and the dude's just playing a drum solo on top of the crowd. And I've seen other pictures where their guitars are on fire, and
that's insane.
It's just something to see live that, even if say you're not really into surf rock, you still got to check this out.
Yeah.
It's fun as hell. And I just saw today they're playing all over the place in America in June and July. They've got a bunch of dates lined up. Mm-hmm. They're traveling across the country, so look them up. It's just daikaiju.com.
Hopefully, they come back here, because I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I saw they had some open dates, but in this area of the country, so I'm hoping they hit Tulsa, Oklahoma City or something.
Yeah. And that's DAIKAIJU.
Yeah. Look them up on Facebook or, like I said, .com. They've got a website up. They don't even have their names on there. They're like Blast Man, Guitar Man, Bass Man. I think it's all just generic titles. And
that's awesome.
And it's all kind of got this, Asian vibe to it, with the way they describe their sound, it's all cut up language,
Yeah.
It's just
nice.
It's a cool theme, you know. It's kind of mixing different styles together, or a theme with his style that's not normally based off that theme, you know. But yeah, a live band to behold for sure.
Well, I got to see him.
Yeah. Well, we done rambling?
I think so. I think we got it. I think we got another episode in the bag.
Yeah. Got thethunderunderground.com is where that Blackstone Cherry review is that Jason mentioned. We've also got several other reviews up there for Killswitch Engage and that Blackstone Cherry live album.
Yeah.
Tons of other stuff. A lot of local stuff as well, independent bands. Look up Undead Viking Mafia on Facebook as well, once again. Find us on Facebook. It's /The Thunder Underground. We're also on Instagram and YouTube at the same thing, The Thunder Underground. Periscope's Thunder Underground. Twitter's THNDRUNDR Ground. And the website that has all this is thethunderunderground.com. All the podcasts are on there. SoundCloud.com /Thunder-Underground is also where all the podcasts are hosted. 53 other podcasts. We've got quite a few where we just talk about different topics like we just did.
That's right.
We've got a bunch with all kinds of interviews we've had from Joey Allen of Warrant, Ian Hogland of Europe, Sid Falk, formerly of Overkill, a 2-part one with him.
Yeah, Kyle Gunther from Battlecross, The Sword.
Yes.
Richie Cavalier from Insight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few local and regional people. If you're from the Tulsa area, people you probably know.
All kinds of stuff.
Yep. Get on there, look it up, listen to some old stuff. Hit us up in the comments on Facebook or SoundCloud. Let us know what you think. We've got some interviews lined up. We've got William Fish, formerly of Framing the Red, coming up.
That's right.
Lots of other stuff as well. So, anything else you want to say?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've listened more than once, or if this is your first time and you plan to listen again, we appreciate it.
Damn right.
Sharing our stuff helps a lot, so do that. If you have a company and you want to sponsor us, do that as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thethunderunderground@gmail.com. You can also send your band there as well. Send us music if you want us to review it or play it.
We'll do it.
All right. Until next time.
See ya.
Thunder Underground, y'all.